It's the weekly show about pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Wow, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, everyone. This is like a full house. This is a party episode.
It's getting tight in here.
It's a party episode.
It's too early for a party.
Well, it's not for us. Maybe for you.
He's an
hour behind us. That's right.
Yeah,
he's got his coffee. He's fine. Hey, Tim, 100%. Are you in your home office?
I am in my home office. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like the background.
Thank you.
All his books.
It reminds me of 60 Minutes when I was a kid. Like the background, in 60 Minutes, they always had bookshelves in the background to make everyone look, like they were a journalist. So you look like a journalist, Tim.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Well,
not too bad.
What do I look like?
Steph.
An editor.
Right. Someone who decorated for Christmas too early.
Oh yeah, you got a Christmas tree back there.
You do have a Christmas tree.
Here, let me turn my portrait mode off so you can see. There he is.
What do you have on your Samsung TV back there?
It's like a piece of art.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I like it.
I can't remember who the artist is.
Got a modern vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I decorated my house based on that. So, but yeah, how are you guys doing? What's been up, Gary? Wait, did you want to talk about that graph that you showed me and Tim behind the scenes?
Oh, we don't need to talk about that. I mean, okay. I was just showing. I mean, it's okay. We were just talking about how being in the news business, we were talking about how web traffic to news sites has gone down so much in 2025 over 2024.
I want to bring something up though.
Yeah.
I'm a huge football fan. I think everybody that follows me knows that.
Yep.
I am responsible for the North Carolina UNC Tar Heels winning a football game because Gary and I went to the game, and the very next week they lost. I just want to point that out.
All because of Tim.
All because of me.
Good luck.
I am good luck.
Well, we are, as you know, Tim, we are rebuilding a program, and
yes,
we have been.
Yes, you are.
We have been rebuilding it since 1924.
Now you sound like the Chicago Bears, dude. Come on.
So we're 100 years into this plan,
right?
And it's right on schedule. So we feel good about where we're going. we
hired a man from the dawn of time.
That's right.
A winning coach.
Yeah,
he has several Super Bowl rings.
He won a while ago. It doesn't mean you keep winning, especially when you're that old.
Now you're insulting. That's ageism, Steph. Now you're insulting everyone old in the industry by saying that.
No, I'm not. I just think, of course, like to some degree, I am younger than a lot of people in this industry.
You're younger than us.
I think that UNC needed to pull a coach out of retirement to come coach our football team?
So hold on. Here's the deal. We are a basketball school, as you
yes.
well know. We won more basketball national championships than any other school in the country except for UCLA. So we're a basketball school, and we've always focused on basketball. And just in the last few years, the school has decided to focus on football. As you know, they built a brand new indoor football practice facility, which all the recruits come here and say it's as good as anyone's in the country.
It looks like a professional one. I've hung around a number of them back in my radio days, and it's as good as the professional ones.
Yeah, I took him around and showed him everything, and that's what I've heard is that there's only like 2 or 3 better than ours, and we've also invested a tremendous amount in facilities and now with NIL and revenue sharing in college. We've obviously stepped up, and we have a budget of somewhere between $50 and $80 million to build the football program each year. But it's going to be a process, right? I mean, we started with a coach who hired some assistant coaches that are really good, and then we have now we got to get the right players, right? We have the third youngest team in college football as far as age of players and experience and stuff like that. So it's going to take a few years now. You could be very well right, Steph, that this experiment won't work and we have to go on to another coach. But you got to give him more than 1 year. And I will say this, we have gotten better every single week. We've had some blips in there, but we've gotten, like, our defense has gotten better and our offense has gotten better. Our play calling's gotten better. But yeah, we got to win. You got to, it all comes down to wins.
I hear you and I see you, but at the same time, I think we have spent millions of dollars doing this, and I think we should have seen
tens of millions,
like more improvement,
more return, more ROI.
Right, more ROI, because we spent.
Trust me, I wish we had the ROI. We don't have the ROI. Other than, I will say this: we're having a record year in Carolina athletic wear sales. That's true. I think that's because of the exposure of all the stuff that's going on. So it is helping the school. Yes. But you're right. I totally agree with you. I would love to have good football, but our basketball team, Steph, you may not know this, is undefeated. We beat Navy last night. We beat Kansas already who won the Kansas Duke game last night? I forgot to even check.
Oh, I don't know.
I forgot to check. Yeah. So we beat, let's see here, Kansas.
And your field hockey team is going to the championship.
Yeah. We're going to
Duke won.
Yeah.
Duke won. There you go. So we get to play Duke twice this year at least.
Oh, God.
But we beat Kansas already. We beat Kansas by more than Duke beat Kansas, so that's a good sign. But we'll see. Yeah. Our women's field hockey team's in the Final Four this weekend. The head coach of the field hockey team, Erin Matson, was one of my former students.
Nice.
She's now the head coach. Our lacrosse team is ranked number 1 in the country. Preseason, our baseball team is ranked in the top 5. So we got our other athletic programs are doing well. Football, though, got a ways to go.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Gary. You were like our sports.
Yeah, Jeff, our producer, just pointed out. Jeff, our producer, just reminded me that our national champion women's soccer team, defending national champions, by the way, they've won 23 national championships, more than any sports program in history. Our women's soccer team is just beat the number 3 team in the country in the tournament. So they're doing the tournament and they're in the final 8. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. Well,
we got to talk about something else.
We have news that's relevant to the
movies.
We do have
have you seen this ridiculous spinoff of Wicked 2 or whatever?
What?
No, it's not a spinoff. It's part 2.
It's literally the rest of the play.
Yeah. I don't know. I had sent Steph this story about how Wicked has more consumer product spinoff products. I don't know what you call it, like branded products, like everything from dish soap to pom-poms, branded as Wicked. Just
well, and not to it's interesting because what was it back in the late 80s, early 90s? That was something that we saw as a negative when it came to movies and TV shows, when you started having branded stuff and tie-ins and stuff like that. Yeah. And now it's part of it's part of the equation. It's part of the business model.
Yeah. I think McDonald's is responsible for that, making it cool, because they did really well with the Happy Meals and tying that into the movies and then making collectibles out of it.
Yep.
I think that was
all the Star Wars glasses. I mean, did you have Star Wars glasses, Gary?
I do have the McDonald's Star Wars glasses. It's funny you say that. I have the whole set.
Of course.
They're probably worth at least $7 now.
Exactly.
I have the Care Bears ones for Pizza Hut from the 80s.
The Care Bears.
Yeah. Why are you laughing? What's wrong with the Care Bears? They taught good things to children each episode about sharing and relying on your friends and existing in the world with an open heart. So what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
That's what I thought.
That is Steph right there.
Thank you. All right. Well, Gary, thank you so much. We're going to continue on with the news.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So you guys might read rAVe. Hopefully you do if you're watching this. And if you do, I wanted to remind you our temperature check survey. We do one every month. It is open and ready for you to answer it. This is all about cybersecurity. So if that is something that you are focusing on in your business, at your organizations, we have 3 questions that we're asking, and it takes like 2 minutes to fill it out. And we pick 2 random respondents each month to get a $50 Amazon gift card. So I think it's a pretty good deal. Go and please answer these questions so that I kind of have an idea of how far cybersecurity is reaching what points in our industry. So thank you very much. And go fill that out at ravepubs.com. So we're going to go into a quick message from our sponsor and partners, Crestron, and then we are going to bring on a guest from Crestron, Joel. You guys know him, and we're bringing him back. Welcome back, Joel. How are you?
Doing very well. How are you, Steph? How are you
doing? Well. It's good to see you. So we wanted to have you on. We thought that it would be very interesting because this is our kind of more end user facing episode. And we wanted to kind of talk about this age of AI that we are in, which like, I know like buzzword city, but we're kind of talking about like why the people in AV should care about AI in the meeting room. So I thought it would be cool if you could just kind of talk a little bit about that. Like, first of all, like, why should we care? What's the value here?
Yeah, AI, I think it's safe to say we could probably pull a pretty quick survey, but we're all using it in some sort of way, right? Whether we, it's kind of rolling thunder and getting more and more popular and people are using that everyday workflow. The question becomes, if I can use that in my everyday workflow, why can't I use it in my everyday meeting room? And that's going to be the critical, turning point when it becomes just the expectation, right? And it's definitely heading in that direction very rapidly.
Are we looking at just kind of smart tools or how is AI showing up? There's a very old TV show called Knight Rider, and there's a car in that Knight Rider called Kit, fully autonomous. Talk to David Hasselhoff back and forth. Is that the level of AI we're talking about right now?
Yeah, I mean, AI encompasses so many different disciplines, I guess, and that's where we can kind of go wrong, I guess, as an industry is thinking AI is just AI, right? There are so many different variants and flavors and types that we need to, start to break it down. There's obviously generative AI, right? I'm using Midjourney, I'm creating images. There's computer vision related AI, which is a little bit more connected to what we do every day as an industry. And then there's some parts of machine learning that are, influenced by AI as well. Right, certainly don't require AI and have been around for a long time, but are going to start to be influenced by AI as well. So, looking at the meeting spaces themselves and what AI means, we kind of need to start to break that down and then work out where to map that to the workflows of the spaces. Like any piece of technology, it shouldn't get in the way of what we want to do in the room, which is typically just meet, just learn, just conference, whatever that is. But it certainly should help, bring that experience forward, make sure that experience is great for every user. And somewhat be transparent to the users in the room.
That's a great point because I do think that at some point, like kind of at the beginning of pulling AI into AV, we just wanted to put it in any old thing, no matter what it was. And I do think it would kind of get in the way rather than help processes sometimes. So do you think that we're kind of starting to get our footing here and figure out the ways it can help us instead of just like trying to use it in any way that we can?
Yeah, I certainly think we're getting there. I think that today the expectation of meetings, whether we're on Teams, Zoom, or any other platform, is to expect things like translation, actionable insights, those kind of things that are done in the cloud, right? That are done for us because we simply went to the meeting. But that's even starting to evolve into things like translations as well, right? So when there's multilingual meetings and people are joining from other locations, getting these live translations on the fly that are happening as people are talking in a room is frankly pretty amazing technology. But we're also seeing it happen in the devices that are sitting in the room. So, the whole cloud AI versus edge AI, I think, is a really interesting topic at the moment. There's a lot of AI that happens in the meeting room, in the products as it industry we help deploy and put into those spaces that's separate from the services. We have AI in certain products from us that are doing it, from Crestron, that are doing computer vision to make better camera decisions in the room. There's plenty of AI in the audio world, in DSPs as well. It's helping to do noise cancellation and make sure that the meeting experiences and that crystal clear audio makes its way to the AI service. But it's just great for the people in the room as well. What we're starting to head towards now is also automating the rooms based on AI, right? Understanding how people use the rooms and maybe making that process more seamless as people enter and exit those spaces. It's a control machine learning story, but AI is starting to have its influence there as well.
Jill, you mentioned a couple different use cases for Crestron, and specifically vision, DSP, automation, and stuff like that. And I understand that part. I understand how does that translate into real collaboration assistance? How does AI assist the folks that are in that meeting and both remotely and in the room? How does that help with collaboration?
Yeah, so from a computer vision point of view, which is where we're most prominently known for our AI in the meeting space, it's really about making sure that when people are sitting in that meeting room, we want them to just meet and to act natural. And we will use tools like AI and computer vision to make sure that we can capture them at their best angle. We can make decisions based on who's speaking in the room so that the remote participants of that meeting feel engaged, right? They understand what's happening in the room and they feel as connected as they possibly can. That helps in-room participants as well to know who's the focus of the conversation at any given time. And we're doing that through, it's pure computer vision, right? We're looking at the frames coming into cameras, and we're making decisions such as where people are in the frame to make sure they're centered. We're making sure that they look left to right. We can make better camera decisions instead of the one that may be on them right now, so that we can capture them front on at all times. So that's how we're using it in the room today. There's a lot of AI in the audio DSP products we create as well. And we have some more coming in the next 6 months or so. They're going to use this as well. But essentially doing things like noise cancellation and making sure that we always have the most premium audio experience. That obviously helps the far end participants hear what's happening in that room. But it's a really important aspect to making sure that AI can be useful in the room post the meeting as well. Transcription, actionable insights, they're great if they're accurate, and they're not very good if they're inaccurate. So we want to make sure the audio in those spaces can be heard. And the larger a space gets, the exponentially harder that challenge gets, right? So as you go from a 2-person, 3-person huddle room into a 20-seat conference room, and you now need to hear all 20 of those voices and understand who said what, it gets harder. So we need to make sure that audio is super clear so we can feed that into those services as well.
That's really, really important. Are there any other ways that Crestron is thinking about the future and where this is all going as you plan the next wave of product launches and releases?
Yeah, so we have a couple of key tenets at the moment that we're focusing on. One is to ensure that we are both leveraging the cloud AI that is coming from services like Teams and Zoom, but we also want to make sure we have the right processing for this wave of edge AI that's starting to come as well. So that's both in devices like cameras, that we have a lot of AI today, but it's also starting to bring AI into our compute-like products as well, so that as those cloud services want to start to leverage edge AI for more latency dependent AI processing, right? Making sure that the latency doesn't impact the experience, have to go all the way to the cloud and come back again. They do it in the room. We have the processing for it, right? So making sure we have edge AI, that's true NPU processing in the room. And then in the devices like cameras and DSP as well, right? So that's that full stack ecosystem of AI in all the places we need it to be. We then are also very heavily focusing at the moment on where we can leverage AI to assist deployments at scale. So deploying a single multi-camera room is great and works perfectly fine. And you take a tape measure and you measure it around. We want to look at ways we can use computer vision to make that even more accurate, quicker and faster, and give people things like reports at the end to say accurate within some percentage or some ratio. But that means that our pros in the field can do more spaces quicker, more efficiently than spending 2 days commissioning one space as well. So it's both about making it more accurate. It's also empowering our pros to be able to scale to more spaces and do that quicker, do it in smaller spaces, really bring that to the market.
Awesome. Well, Joel, thank you so much. Last question for you. 1, where can people connect with you on the internet? And 2, where can people find more about Crestron?
Yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn, just under John Mulpeter, as most people are with their name. But you can also jump onto www.crestron.com. We have heaps of information there on products like Automate VX, our cameras, and UC products that are all leveraging AI. So jump on there, have a look. Otherwise, just reach out to me in any other way you have, email, phone number, whatever.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will talk to you soon.
Awesome.
All right, so we are going to go into a quick break from our other sponsor and partner, Shure, and then we're going to bring on our second guest of the day, Tormod rAVe from Neat.
Understanding, it's what we're all after. In lectures where ideas ignite. In teamwork, uniting people and perspectives. In everything, we strive to understand clearly. Connect deeply. Because when we collaborate better, we dream bigger. And when we dream bigger, we can change the world.
All right, and welcome everyone, our second guest of the day, Tormod rAVe from Neat. First of all, welcome. How are you this morning? Well, morning for us. I'm not sure where you are.
Yes, afternoon, but yeah, thank you, and thanks for having me.
Of course. First of all, I would love if you would just tell our lovely audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Tormod rAVe. I'm based in Oslo, Norway. I'm Neat's what we call Chief Product and Engineering Officer. That basically means I'm responsible for all things product at Neat.
Very cool. So you're talking to us today a little bit about the Neat Board 32, but also just generally about the Neat brand. So I would love to just kind of first have you talk a little bit about how Neat is actually doing a lot of things differently in the market that end users would notice day to day. I'd love if you could just expand on that a little bit.
Yes, and I think it sort of comes from our name, Neat. We like to keep things neat, simple, and easy. Neat has always been about simplification and removing friction between the room and the remote. So that means that for the end users in the room, they will have things that just work, that sort of have layouts and camera views that adjust depending on the scenario on the meeting that they're having, whether it's sort of a collaborative session or somebody's presenting or something else. For the remote participants, it means that they can always closely follow the conversation, regardless of where people are sitting. Close to the device, far away from the device, which direction they're facing, towards the screen, towards the audience, or just having a discussion amongst themselves. And then for the admins, it means that they have a solution that they can very effectively manage also fully remotely at scale, sort of reducing management overhead and increasing uptime. So that's sort of the end user or user benefits. But behind all that, there's obviously quite a lot of sophisticated technology, extensive use of AI and ML. We have a distributed edge AI architecture, tailor-made devices, but they're really just a means to an end for us.
Tormod, my understanding in talking with some of your folks is that Neat was kind of thought up for the personal space, the smaller spaces and stuff like that. What pain points were you trying to solve for the end user, for the IT and the AV manager?
Yeah, initially, Neat, I would say, sort of was targeted the initial device, this sort of bar all-in-one form factor for the small to medium-sized meeting rooms, and then initially with Zoom, later with Teams, and soon with Google. And what we were solving for was simplification. So there was quite a lot of sort of custom installations, cabling, multiple components in these spaces, typically. We made that a lot simpler with our Neat bar initially, and then we've expanded it to more spaces. And then we've also quite aggressively deployed machine learning and AI to provide sort of what's called a more equitable experience, remove the friction between the room and the remote, so that everybody can have sort of a clearly hear and see what's going on in the meeting.
Very cool. I'm interested to see, as well as like for the Neat Board 32 in particular, I know that's pretty new. I was wondering, since this product is aimed at smaller rooms, personal workspaces, what problems were you solving with that in particular?
We see quite a lot of our customers have a sort of a large number of smaller meeting rooms or smaller spaces, like everything from the phone booth, the huddle room, the focus room, sort of 1 to 3, 4, 5 participants. that, and some of them are even looking to increase sort of share of those spaces because that's what they need to support the workforce and the distributed work now. Sort of maybe slightly fewer large rooms and more smaller spaces, but that those spaces often are sort of ill-equipped for local or remote meetings. Sometimes they don't have anything. Sometimes they just have a screen. Sometimes there's an audio solution, or there's some sort of duct tape, webcam, screen, BYD setup. And the existing all-in-one sort of board form factors have been too sort of targeted at the executive desk use case, where it sort of works if you have a fancy title and you have one of these devices and you sit in front of it all day. But that there was a need for something else in the smaller meeting space. So the Neat Board 32 is our attempt at solving that. It's a simple all-in-one sort of board form factor device, and everything about it is optimized for those smaller spaces. Everything from the 140-degree field of view camera that will capture people that are also sitting quite close to the screen that you often do in these spaces. Mic array, the speakers, the 4K 32-inch touchscreen, and USB-C connectivity with laptop charging. So we felt that there was a need for something different, simple, all-in-one, that was like tailor-made for these spaces, rather than taking something else and sort of just shoehorning it into something it wasn't really designed for.
That makes a lot of sense.
All right, Tormund, you one of the things about Neat is that you guys talk about simplicity a lot. That's if you go by the booth at any of the trade shows, that is one of the things that you guys really hammer on. What is the hardest part about making collaboration tech simple, making it simple to use, simple to understand, instead of just piling on more and more features?
Yeah, that's a good question, because the easy thing is to just pile on more and more features, as you say.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have to like think about it all the time, because once you've piled on a lot of features, once you've added a lot of complexity, it's like really hard or virtually impossible to take that out again. So you need to have kind of continued focus over time to keep things simple. You need to be very conscious of what end user or customer problem you're solving, and everybody needs to know. The engineers can't start with a product requirement data sheet. They need to start with a clear understanding of like what's the problem we're solving, what experience do we want, and then you need to be very conscious about doing few things and doing them really well. So it comes back to sort of the culture and the way of working, I would say, and a sort of a laser focus on keeping things really simple.
That makes a lot of sense as well. So Neat recently joined MDEP, which was announced, I think it was like the end of September, I want to say. Why was it important, in your opinion, for Neat to be part of that ecosystem?
Yeah, thank you. Good question. So MDEP, for those who don't know, that's sort of Microsoft version of the Android operating system.
Yes.
And MDEP was important for us because Microsoft is a really important partner to us. And we believe that with MDEP, we can combine sort of the best of what you can get from Microsoft with the best of what you can get from Neat. So you, more specifically, combine a very solid platform security from MDEP with the sort of features and innovation that you get from Neat. So sort of the best of both worlds. We're very happy and excited for that partnership.
Tormund, as we kind of wrap up here, if somebody's planning out a hotel desking situation or a small room situation refresh, what are 3 or 4 questions should they ask their vendors before going down the road and buying anything or standardizing on one company or another?
Yeah, I think the first thing they should do is ask themselves a few questions so they sort of know what to look for, to be honest. So they should like be very clear on what spaces am I looking at here, how many participants, what kind of meetings or interactions are they, do I expect them, or do they expect to have in those spaces? What kind of applications do I need to support? And then they should sort of turn to the vendors and make sure that they get exactly that. So if native experiences are important, or you have a configuration where people sit close to the screen, you should get something that works in that case. If you need to support a broader set of third-party applications, you should look for that. If you need like charging capabilities, you should look for that. And so that's the way I would approach that for the huddle space. And since you talked about AI earlier today here as well, we know that a lot of things are are changing, but the only thing that we know for sure is that we don't know exactly what's going to change how. So I would also, in general, look for something that not only aggressively uses AI to provide a great experience, but also something that's AI agnostic. So by that, I mean something that can support the AI applications and services that you expect to use in the future, because you will want to use this device for a good number of years, say 5 years, and you don't know exactly what you're going to be doing. So like look for something that will work, that has flexibility and allows you to sort of be flexible in what tools your employees use.
Absolutely. Last question for you is, where can people find you online, and where can people find more information on Neat online?
Yeah, similar question, just a different URL and a different name. So neat.no has plenty of information, also allows you to get in touch with us directly. And then myself, I'm on LinkedIn. I have a rather uncommon Norwegian name, so I should be pretty easy to find.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us on rAVe TV. It was a pleasure having you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Cameron.
All right, Tim, you ready to quickly hit up some of the news from the past week before we?
I am excited about a couple of these stories.
Okay, good. Then that means I picked good ones. So, okay, first of all, let's talk about this TCL story, because it's kind of like big news, but we might have to like boil it down to make it clear to the audience like why this is relevant, right? So TCL CSOT began construction on what is considered to be the world's first 8.6 gen inkjet printing OLED line. Tim, why is this important to this particular audience?
Okay, so first of all, I am a huge OLED fan. I think you and I I've taken you, I've forced you to a couple of different trade show booths because of my love of OLED. So that is, first of all, why I am really, really interested in this. But the other thing about this is a new type of production for OLED, at least one that hasn't been rolled out to this extent yet, to this scale. So OLED is, not to be silly, so LED is light emitting diode. OLED is organic LED, right? And so it's more flexible. It's more the colors are better. The one of the things that people look at when they look at display technology is the black levels or the contrast, right? Yes. So the black levels are on par, and you could argue better than plasma technology, which is, has gone by the wayside in the last 15, 20 years. So that is why I am excited, and quite frankly, why folks should be excited, because there's this holy grail or this idea.
I think you froze. Oh, well, I don't know what the rest of his sentence was going to be because he's frozen. But basically, my thoughts are that, you're back.
I am?
Yes, you froze after Holy Grail.
That was it. That was the whole thing.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I don't know. That was like 2 minutes ago.
Okay. And I was like, oh no, he was making a really good point.
It is. So the Holy Grail is the flexible display technology, right? And that is this adds to that and pushes that down the field.
Absolutely. And I do think that TCL is kind of basically focusing on this particular technology scalability when it comes to IT focused applications. And I see how that is particularly relevant to our audience as well. So definitely we're going to be keeping our eyes peeled for this technology. Very, very interesting. So second piece of news, Nanolumens and Noro have partnered, and they have launched this life-size portal collaboration system. So, okay, it's an immersive collaboration platform. It's designed to create this life-size remote presence to the global market. It uses Nanolumen's DV-LED with Noro's spatial camera and design to encourage this hybrid communication across, of course, the environments that you're thinking: enterprise, education, command and control, etc. So here's my thing. This sounds super familiar, first of all. I think that there are a few different brands who are doing this type of collaboration technology, whether or not it's Google Beam, Logitech it was Project Ghost. And then HP has collaborated with Google's Beam, and they have created something. So this is just another version of that. But here's my thing. And then Tim, you can say your thing. My thing is, this is giving telepresence. Is that your thing too?
That is my thing.
Like, I wasn't even here for that. Okay. So telepresence, what was that? Like 2003?
2005, 2010, somewhere in there.
Okay.
But still, it's old.
So yeah, guess what? I was in middle school and high school. Okay. So I wasn't even here and I know about telepresence. But like
I'm done.
But no, I'm just saying, like, if I know about a lot of people know about like this telepresence technology and it existing because it was so big for its time. It was giving cinematic. It was like, oh, this is great. This is going to break down all the barriers of meetings. And it just didn't, because it's single use type. You can only use it one way. And it is so expensive to be able to do this. I don't know about this particular one with nanolumens and Noro. I don't know if it's the same price as Google Beam and Logitech Ghost. I can't totally answer that question. But I will say that the original purpose of this is just very single use. And I think that that's why Logitech's Project Ghost, Google Beam, and this are very cool. They're very futuristic. They're very fun, but I don't know. This just might be for like those really, really high-end customers because they are so singular in how you can use them.
You have said everything right there.
Wow.
And really quickly, the Project Beam, the list price, my understanding is $25,000 for each endpoint. Okay. When telepresence came out, again, mid to late 2000s, maybe early 2010s, it was $100,000 to $150,000.
Yeah.
So
okay,
the price has come down,
right?
But the use case, you're right. It is a single room, single use case, right? The other person on the other side has to have the same system. So again, 15 years ago, that was $300,000 to be able to make it feel like I was sitting across the table from Steph. Which, just for the record, I do kind of feel like I'm sitting across the table from Steph. So. And I didn't spend $150,000. So you're right. I'm going to be interested to see, as if somebody comes out with this and installs it, what their experience is.
Yeah. No, and obviously, like, you can totally prove me wrong.
Yeah.
I would love to see this in like multiple use cases. This is just my thoughts. I have been wrong before. I will be wrong again. So
100%.
This is just my personal thoughts, feelings, opinions based on what I have seen.
And I agree with those.
But yeah, moving on. Epson, and I don't know if it's pronounced Vivi or Vivi, but they partnered, and it's for wireless sharing and projection in K through 12. So basically, this is made to really simplify wireless screen mirroring in the classroom, like K through 12 environment in particular, because Vivi is a wireless screen sharing communication platform, and this is supposed to be an option for integrating that with projection and device agnostic content sharing. Because if you use Apple products, which a lot of K through 12 don't, but Apple products, you have to use Apple Play most of the time, unless you like bypass it with a Samsung thing. Like it just can get really complicated for screen sharing. And so what this does is it gives teachers the ability to like move around the room and share content wirelessly, and also very easily allow students to share their content to the display.
The one thing about this in general, and I like the agnostic part, because you're right, different school systems have different standards. On some people are still using Chromebooks, some people are on Mac OS, some people are on Windows. Leveraging this is interesting, and that gives you the ability to deploy this across a single school system, regardless of what that particular school is using from an operating standpoint. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
That is cool. So, okay, continuing on, we have another very school-focused story, Memo's Flashcast product, which is, it's like emergency alert product. It's like a little box that you put But it now integrates with Raptor Technologies, and this is continuing the real-time school safety alert. So yeah, Flashcast visual alert platform, but it's like a little box that you can just install piece by piece on different displays. And now Raptor Technologies emergency management software. So this is going to kind of help enable schools, but also other organizations display safety notifications across like multiple on-campus screens.
Yeah, and you're going to see more and more of these out there because, especially in the States, you've got budgets that are being said, okay, we want to keep our kids safe, we want to do this, that, and the other, and there's going to be money pointed this direction.
Right, which like sucks that is a whole like business unit. Like it's not like, it sucks that it has to exist, but I am glad that there are companies that are actually thinking about the threats that exist in schools and are actively trying to help solve that problem, because we can't, of course, in the States actually solving that problem. That's like a whole other can of worms, but
we could, but that's a different conversation.
That's a different TV show, a different podcast.
It is.
But I think that AV doing our best in helping to keep kids safe is obviously a very good thing. So I agree with Tim. We're going to see a lot more products like this on the market as we're continuing to even realize that this is a segment of AV that like kind of exists under our umbrella.
All right.
So yeah,
this story is the one I am most excited about.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So really quickly, the headline is Integrated Systems Europe. They've announced a 4-day showcase called Spark.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part of ISE. Let me start with that. Okay. It is back in Hall 8. They're basically taking over Hall 8. Steph, you and I were in Hall 8 last year at ISE. That's where the robot chased you.
Yeah.
Was it the robot dog or was it a real robot?
It was the dog.
It was the dog, yeah.
It was running at me.
It was. So that's where Spark is. Here's what Spark, but that's where Spark is. Here's what Spark is. This is where the AV industry and ISC specifically is looking to connect with the creatives, not necessarily in our industry, but are attached to our industry, are using our technology, are the technologists and the decision makers inside the organizations that are putting on really incredible creative digital signage, right? The pseudo 3D that you're seeing in South Korea or in Times Square or Piccadilly Circus. That's what Spark's about, right? It's connecting the creatives with the technology that they're leveraging, all under the same umbrella of ISE, and that is why I am excited about this.
I'm excited about it too, because I think this is an attempt to solve a problem that AV trade shows have. And the problem is, how do we widen the industry? How do we bring more people in? Because if you think about it, it's like a lot of the same people who go to an AV trade show. It's the AV people who know they're in the industry and don't totally like, it's like a lot of the people on the outskirts, like why would they go? Or like, I don't know. We're a very siloed industry in a lot of ways, and that is changing actively. And I think that like things like this, initiatives like Spark, are what is going to help our industry expand and help other industries expand into ours, because we are partially broadcast, we are partially entertainment, we are partially live events and gaming and design, and digital signage is already kind of in our industry, but depending on what part of digital signage you ask about. So I think that this is going to really, really be interesting, and I'm excited to see like the 4 tracks and the type of attendee that comes.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah. All right. We have one more story, and that's it, that I'm just kind of talking about digital signage. This is part of that. So Carousel, which y'all probably have heard of them, big, digital signage company. They have added support for the Amazon signage stick for digital signage management, which is interesting. Amazon signage stick is really, really taking off in our industry, which a lot of people feel a type of way about, because it's kind of like, in a way, replacing players.
Mm-hmm.
And players are historically very expensive. They're not so much anymore. That's another thing where the prices come down a lot. But the signage sticks are very inexpensive and easy to install and easy for people to scale and simplify. So I think that this is just kind of, in essence, a trend piece. It's speaking to like what is happening in the digital signage industry, and what is happening is we're kind of starting to look beyond players a little bit.
Well, it's also a little bit of big tech, right? So Amazon getting into this, and it actually goes back to our last story and connecting that to the other part of our industry, where you've got Amazon, which, you know, Amazon's a pretty smart company, right? They've made a couple dollars here and there,
right?
So they're seeing this as an opportunity. Well, we should see this as an opportunity and not necessarily a threat, because what we can do is we can say, okay, great, Amazon, you're interested, awesome. Here's this other parts of this industry that we can connect you to, and we can start leveraging the smarts of Amazon with the other parts of our industry.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I think that is all of the news that we had. I just have a reminder to all of you. So our audio symposium is coming up. It is on December 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern. It is approved for, I think, one CTSD or CTSI RU. So go ahead and register for that if you're trying to get the rest of your RUs. If you have like an RU goal for the end of the year, I know that you need 30 every 3. If you try to do a 10 every year thing and you need a couple more, this is a great opportunity. It's going to be, I would say, like a couple hours long. I would expect it to end around 3. It's going to be 3 very great panels. Some a little bit about like the resi-commercial space and how design in residential is really kind of starting to bleed into and affect design and commercial in terms of audio. We're talking about large room audio. We're talking about a few things. So I'm very excited, and I hope you will attend because I am doing all of the work. Well, not all of the work, but a lot of the work for it. So please, I sure hope people come.
It will be awesome.
Thank you, Tim. And Tim is helping me. Tim is actually helping me do a lot of the work as
Tim
well.
doesn't do anything. I've told you guys that before. Tim doesn't work.
But yeah, thank you guys very much. Tim, thank you for co-hosting.
Thank you, ma'am.
This has been another episode of rAVe TV, and we will see you guys again next week, same time, same place, 9 Eastern. So thank you guys. See you later.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.